Good evening and welcome to the Pizza Roundtable, part of the I Need Pizza Club network, where every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we talk about the favorite pizza news stories and goings-on from the week. I am one of your two hosts this evening, Jim Mumford, joined by my lovely guest host, not even guest host, lovely host, Will Dumas. Will, how are you? Sorry to guest host you there. You're a mainstay, my friend.
Listen, man, I'm glad I'm lovely. I'll say that. So, right,
You
I'm
are.
happy. It's a great start to a Tuesday here, dude. I'm in.
Awesome. So, Will, anything to update us last week? Anything going on? Anything hot and pizza related or not pizza related?
I had a busy weekend with things, and I didn't eat a lot of pizza, unfortunately. I know.
You know what?
Falling short.
Tomorrow's a new day, right? I mean, that's what my tattoo says. Tomorrow's a great day to eat pizza.
Where do you have that tattoo, Jim?
Well, this is a family podcast, my friend. Can't quite get into all the secrets. Awesome. We have 7 articles ahead of us. Why don't we get to the first one?
Let's do it. What do we got?
Oh, how about we start with you want to start with the PMQ one?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, just casually.
Well, I'll say this one here. PMQ spoke with, can you believe it, our own Jim Mumford. So we've got Charlie Bakar, and it says, meet the engineer who just published a home baker's guide to regional pizza. Look at that nice family shot.
My gosh,
man,
isn't that
Jim.
lovely? All the free labor I conspired or conscripted to help me out. So Charlie and I talked a week or two ago about my book that, if you've been at all listening to this, comes out 2 weeks from today.
Yep.
Pizzapedia, and talks about regional styles of pizza. So yeah, it was a really fun chat with Charlie, and we get through into kind of the whole thing.
Dude, I loved reading it. It was great. I'm so excited, obviously, for Pizzapedia to come out. So let me ask a couple of little highlights, man. I think one of the cool things, kind of, at least that the article here highlighted in your chat with Charlie, was kind of just how this came together. And this was actually a bit of a new one to me. I think I had an understanding of bits and pieces of some travels, but it seemed like give us a sense of this road trip, man, and what this was like. That kind of brought this together.
So it was early 2019, and for work, I had to drop everything, drive from Western Michigan to Connecticut, which normal traffic, normal day would be 10 to 12 hours, depending how you drive. Decided to run into the storm of the century while I did that. What should have been a half day took me legitimately 3 days to get from here to there. So, forced off the highway and just kind of, okay, what do I do? Well, pizza near me, right? What's good?
Yeah.
And kind of went from town to town as traffic and things kind of led me, and kind of took me through, Youngstown to Buffalo to Scranton, all the way through New York, and kind of did this kind of pizza mecca unbeknownst to me, and kind of took notes because, it's so different. And I thought, one day when I'm really bored, I'm going to sit down and figure this out. When I'm stuck at home, I have nothing to do. And then the pandemic happened. I had nothing but time. And 6 years later, we have a book.
Man, that's just crazy to think like that's how that actually came together. And I think Charlie kind of mentioned it here, like the particular route, right, that you took, just like kind of stars aligned, right, to give you such a diverse mix of different types of pizzas along the way. I mean, and that was completely unexpected, right? Like
completely, not all the time, but you Google, best pizza within 50 miles, right? And it kind of gravitated me to those places. And obviously, spent time in Connecticut, up in New Haven, went down to New York. So I kind of I hit all these things and got, really curious. And now if I were to design a road trip today, I don't think I would do it any different than what the ice storm kind of took me through, which is, again, kind of wild how very serendipitous how it kind of came together.
Dude, I know you put a book together around this, but as I think about it now, like I'm thinking this is like you need to sell the movie rights, Jim, more so of the pizza expedition, Pizza Unknown. Like something's going to come together. I'm feeling it there.
Well, we are in talks with Seth Rogen. He is holding out for money, unfortunately, but we're hopeful we can get him. if not, Jonah Hill can put on a few more pounds again. We'll figure something out.
Tell me a little bit about maybe some of the, kind of people you may have worked with or kind of drew some inspiration from, and kind of, you got to experience these styles and these different genres, I'll call them, right, of pizza, but then you kind of honed that a bit, right, by kind of making a network, I'll say here, right, for the
Yeah.
most part.
And I have you and Michael to thank for it. I mean, honestly. So, I wrote an article for Inside Hook many years ago about the water in New York, which was, I think I'm not ashamed to say, pretty much straight from the book, at least inspired by, but different enough for anyone who's watching. But and then obviously I kind of became a part of this community. And I remember very distinctly having a conversation with Michael, and we had only spoke a few times, like, hey, who do I need to reach out to? And he sets me up with some of the best people in the industry, right? Friends of the pod, right, across the board, and kind of introduces me to, which ultimately not only do I feature in the book, but they're the people behind, hey, don't do this, do this. Here's my dough recipe. Here's why I recommend it. It would have been good without it. It was great. And I have you and Michael to kind of thank for introducing me to a lot of these awesome people like Anna, right? Like John, like Augie, I mean, I think probably 20 people in the book all
Yeah.
came from the network. I mean, truly. And again, right, it's also kind of funny. Places I visited, I didn't know they were part of the group, right? But
Sure.
again, it just kind of came together how it was. Mercurio's is the place I visited. If you had told me that I'd be doing a podcast with Anna, I would have thought you'd be crazy, right? But it's just kind of how it took me, right? And just so it wasn't just the stars truly aligned. Like it came together, man. It was pretty crazy.
That's so cool. I appreciate any kind of credit at all there, Jim. There, it's all Michael. Michael's the man of mystery, the magician behind the curtain, putting it all together. That's for sure. But listen, man, that's awesome. Give me a little inside look to this. What's I think as we kind of both tout like the idea of this pizza community, like amazing people, but also just so willing to share. Right? It's not
Oh my
secretive.
God.
It's nothing like that. And so I bet you came into this thinking you learned stuff and new stuff, but how surprised were you maybe kind of just some of the research and work that you did as you got further down or started to work with some of these people, like, to kind of do some of the pies?
Oh my God. I thought I knew everything about pizza, and now I know nothing about pizza. Um, and it's funny. The more you learn, the more you don't know anything. And you're absolutely right. I mean, how many I can't count how many people say, oh, here's my sauce recipe. Like, I'm not going to use your sauce recipe. I'm very explicit in the book. Everything is a tribute, not a copy. But my goodness, just the openness and how many people just kind of taught me along the way. And it's one thing to be good at one style of pizza, but to get good at 30 turns out was really hard and took a lot of I mean, everything from talking to people in restaurants to old message boards to watching old news clips to try to see how much of everything they put in, how much cheese I thought they used. I mean, it was all hands on deck trying to figure it out. So I'm happy with it. It is definitely written for everyone, and it comes out in 2 weeks, and I hope you all order a copy.
Love it, man. I'll leave some surprises then for everyone else, but I'll ask one final thing and can you, I can't imagine it being easy to say you have a favorite style with just the like such diversity of the regional pizzas, or your favorite pie out of it. But do you feel you had a favorite, which maybe isn't necessarily your favorite pizza, but your favorite pizza of the book? And I'm interested in that, making that different, just in case you may actually have a different favorite, but featured here
Yeah.
could be different than that.
Yeah, so two answers. So my favorite pizza is the one on the cover. This is the pizza that my wife and I, came together at the pizza shop we lived above. That it's a pizza we ate when I proposed, right? I mean, there's a
Yeah,
reason
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
cover, right? So that's my favorite pizza. But my favorite pizza of the book, man, I can tell you what the hardest pizza was, but that's not
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
asked.
That's okay. Give me the hardest, man.
The hardest one to nail was St. Louis. To get the sauce right, to get the Provel right, which you can't get in stores as a acquired taste, I'll say.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the hardest one to nail. I think the one that I'm most excited about is Cuban style because no one's heard of it, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It's got the burnt cheese kind of lip. It's Gouda. It's buttery. It's very culturally inspired, which you like to see from a style. So
Yeah.
that's one I'm most excited for people to try. But as I mean, how you pick a favorite, right? It's hard to do that. But the tavern style on the front is the one that I think means the most. So that's all I'll answer.
That's cool. I was gonna go with the tavern if I was picking one for you, but I just wanted
I
to see
mean,
if you had to go in a feature otherwise.
pretty predictable, but taverns have been done. But I don't think anyone's done written about a Cuban ever.
No.
Some of the we'll talk about one of the articles about Omaha style. I don't think anyone's written about that. So yeah, it's fun to kind of talk about the styles that no one's writing about, that aren't a thing. That was really fun to do.
I bet. Cool. Listen, man, we could continue talking forever on it. Tell me anything else we missed that you want to highlight out there that
Just
people need
real
to
quick,
know?
the absolute Hail Mary that I threw up to get the publisher. So I kind of
Yeah.
struck out with some publishers. I wasn't having a ton of luck, and anyone who's written a book knows it's kind of hard to break through if you aren't, I had done some things, but nothing major. So I found the publisher I wanted, Fox Chapel, who specialized in this, right? Kind of the niche cookbooks. And I got fed up one day and I called the pizzeria across the street. I said, "You're going to deliver 10 pizzas to their headquarters. You're going to take my manuscript to the top, and here's a massive tip." And it worked. They called me within minutes, and here we are. I mean, it was an absolute Hail Mary of here's a pizza party, here's my book, let's do business and talk. It worked. I don't know how it worked, but it worked.
That's crazy. I mean, that's also something I would hear in a movie, right? Like literally, how did this click? Oh, I sent this across the street. I met the person. We turned around at the same time, and bam! Like, and then a pizza book happened. But that's crazy, man, how that came together. And I could imagine the frustration you would have trying to kind of break through with that and find a publisher. That must have been tough, man.
Especially
Perseverance
during COVID,
prevails.
right? When
Yep.
everyone was doing books, right? And everyone, it was impossible. So, yeah,
Ugh, all right, man. Well, listen, coming up with you said 24th or 26th.
fourth, 2 weeks from
Fourth,
today.
and where does everyone get a copy of this?
Oh my gosh, Amazon, Pizzapedia is the name. If you Google Pizzapedia, the one I wrote, not the other one, there's an illustrative guide that's completely different. But Amazon, Jim Cook's Food Good has the link up top.
Love it, man.
Yeah,
And that's
please check it out
Pizzapedia altogether. Pizza,
together.
not Pizza Spacepedia, because you're going to get
Oh,
somewhere
all
different.
together,
Pizzapedia,
all one,
smush it into
smushed
one.
together. Awesome.
Awesome, man. I
All
love
right,
it, dude. What a good
enough
tale. What a
about
good
me.
tale.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, we can talk about other people's pizza. I don't like being in the spotlight here.
Where do you want to go
Well,
next, buddy?
I
Let's do
want
it.
to go to the old school cafeteria one next because this is one you found and I love it and I've got some insights. Let me kick it off and then I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
no. So this is by Chowhound and this is what made old school cafeteria pizza spongy crust so delicious. That pizza says a million words with the jello and the milk. Will, what? Why did this? Right? Why did this jump out at you so hard? Right? Because you found this one.
Absolutely. And I think it's to be honest, that I debated in my own head, is it just nostalgia in that I like this pizza, or is there really something to it that actually hit the headline of delicious? Am I underappreciating this pizza for what it was, or do I just have other school memories that made it like associate for me? And I didn't know. And so when I started reading a little bit more about kind of the consistency and how this was put together, that's when I was like, I know one guy I got to talk to about it, and we're going to get his thoughts on how this actually comes together. And is it really delicious as a platform or base for what's there?
Yeah. So I will. So go into the article, right? And they basically say, why is it delicious? And it is, right? There's a reason behind it. First off, the sauce was more of a gravy, right? You had
Yes.
tomato paste, you had onions, seasonings, right? Tons of cheese, which was probably a little more processed, right? Which
Absolutely. Absolutely.
lends itself again to a little bit of the texture, right? And this is kind of that Provo moment, right? Where
Hmm.
it's got a little something to it. but it was that crust. And the secret to the crust was it was high hydration and it was made with a lot of sugar and a lot of milk powder.
Right there. That's where I never like looking at this pizza and knowing it and eating it. I don't know why, but high hydration is not what came to mind to me, and I that's just where it threw me off. I would have thought just more of like almost a bread or bakery product, but not necessarily associating it with the high hydration. So that was just one of the surprises for me as being, being a more of a pizza novice, right? From that one, just didn't stand out to me like that from a structure perspective. But as I read it, it kind of makes a little more sense.
Well, and you gotta figure, right? This is a bread, right? They're making something, and they even said, right, it's closer to a
Yeah,
focaccia, but something that's gonna stand up a little bit, that's gonna
hold that
kind of have
heft, hold that heft above it.
exactly. So it kind of goes through it, and again, the picture says a million words. So you're 100 plus hydration, right? This is a
Crazy.
batter, which again, right? You probably don't have to knead it as long. It's a little bit lower work, which is kind of counterintuitive, but you got to think they probably poured this into the pan, right? Par
Agreed.
baked it, then finished it during service. So, but it kind
During
of
service, you aficionado during lunch.
during lunch, but really though, right? I am sure it was made the
Absolutely.
night
Yeah.
before, right? And then see, all right, so let's pull analogs to a couple of regional styles, right? So you look at like the Ohio Valley, which has the cold cheese on it.
Mm.
It starts very similar to this, right? Where it's par baked with some sauce. Omaha style pizza is almost this, right? Where it's got a little bit of milk to it. It's got a little biscuity kind of quality to it because it's very light, but then it's kind of formed in the pan. Uh, and there's another style that's escaping me that basically, one of my sister-in-laws said, "Well, this is cafeteria pizza we're making." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yes, it is." Right. So it is interesting. So I think it's a thing kind of on accident, maybe, but I also kind of love it because it is, I don't know, it's rooted in some science. And it's actually like it's not just nostalgia. I think it actually works for a reason.
So that's the part I want to ask you a little bit about, and I feel like, and this is maybe the one time I do get a bit of a snub nose from other pizza makers was when we think about products like is it dried milk, right, and
Yes.
or sugar in dough, and I feel like a lot of those, and maybe I'm thinking more regional of where I'm living here, the East Coast, and we're not thinking sugar in dough, and maybe that's like a no. We're kind of letting things brown this way and they shouldn't be. But I mean, this seems to work. And I think the milk is new to me and not being a proficient baker and understanding kind of how that absorbs or holds a little bit more moisture. And then it's able to kind of release it through the bake. But then also the sugar component kind of countering the acidity that I get, but it always seems like a no in dough to me from what I've, come to
But
experience.
this isn't dough. This is a batter,
Fair,
right?
fair.
And people don't understand. So I'm gonna peek behind the curtain here real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
And so here we go. So this is from the book, right? If I were just to show this to you, you would think this is it, right? This is
I
that
would
same,
agree.
and this is a classic old forge pizza, right? And it is, but it has a ton of sugar. It's got the butter. It's got like a lot of those kind of characteristics. So I love that you brought this one up because yeah, I think it's a thing. And
Yeah.
I think more of us should just, who cares if it's not high gluten, high whatever. It's delicious. And you know what? It feeds a lot of people really easily. So I'm so happy you brought this up.
I think the one thing that pizza people who are especially kind of learning and thinking about this when they kind of read this one was the idea that I think the author here mentioned, like the kind of no gluten development. And I feel like gluten's a big thing that we think about of people of like making crust do what they want. So maybe give us an understanding of here of the idea of like this is a batter and it's not being worked. And so we're not building these connective structures like as strongly, right? That's why we're getting this rise in that same kind of way then.
That's why you're getting the puff, but also you have the milk proteins, which are replacing some of the gluten proteins, right? So you're making something closer to like a waffle or a pancake, right? Which still has its structure, but it's not from wheat gluten. It's from kind of the mesh, and the par bake sets everything right, so you don't have to get it all in one shot. So yeah, it is counterintuitive, but yeah, it works. And if I would guess that recipe, if you were to give it to someone, would be closer to a drop biscuit that would be a traditional pizza dough. But who cares? It's awesome. It hits that spot, and especially with a more flavored sauce, it's a thing, right? I mean, that is a pizza I grew up eating, right? I think you grew up eating, right? I mean,
Yep,
you know
absolutely.
exactly what that tastes like.
You
I
you
love it.
know you know what it tastes like without even literally knowing what it tastes like, but you can think this flavor in your
The
mind, and you're just like, boom,
crunch and just,
I
yep.
know exactly how it's gonna feel when I bite into this pizza.
And then why slather it in the ranch, the ranch packet, and the right. I mean, this is the shared experience here. And then you throw the Jello at your friend when he's not looking, and
I start flinking the corn around the
yeah,
cafeteria. I'm with
exactly,
you,
of
man. I'm
course,
with you, dude. All right. Well, listen,
awesome.
good job, Chow Hound, on this one. A good feature. I like this one. This was a fun article.
It was. Speaking of unexpected toppings, we're gonna go a
Oh, yeah.
pretty hard one here. So Yahoo Life, unexpected Swedish topping your pizza has been missing. Eli Cohen. So Will, before you read this, what did you think the topping was gonna be?
Not a chance of what it actually turned out to be. I will tell you that.
I thought it was gonna be like a pickle, right? Something in the pickle
Something
category.
like that, or something something pickled, but I was almost thinking like herring, something really
Yeah.
unique and odd like that, or something like that. I was thinking more of a fish. I don't know why it's what first came to mind, but not the case.
Not the case. So they wanted to say, what's the best combination in Sweden? That would be the combination of a doner kebab, which is delicious, by the way,
Amen.
and pizza. So they say it's, sorry, Sweden, served in pizzerias, extra thin crust, tomato sauce and cheese, pretty standard.
Hmm.
And then we go kebab, lettuce, tomato, red onion, pepperoni, and then some yogurt sauce.
You
Will,
know,
smash or pass, bud? What do you think?
so something about this, Jim, just sounds to me like, can you say those ingredients one more time? Lettuce, tomato, onion. I feel like we were talking about this maybe a week or two ago with Anna about salad on our
Salad on
pizza.
pizza. Here we go. We nailed it.
Absolutely a smash for me on this one, man. Pepperoncinis, red onion, yogurt sauce. Dude, I am all in on this one.
Hard smash. And here's why I know this is good. Go back to regional styles like the Quad Cities taco pizza, right? Which absolutely is amazing. This is that, right? It's a spice meat with all the toppings. Yeah, it might be a little bit different, but I bet this is awesome. I
Absolutely.
love it. I don't think many people in the States would order it, but man, I'm with you. I think that, don't think of it as a pizza base, right? Think of it as a really flavored kind of shell. I'm here for it, and Yahoo, hats off to you and the country of Sweden, because I think this one is a winner.
I mean, this dude absolutely would not think I would be getting this in Sweden, period. I maybe have a misperception of when I'm thinking Swedish food, and I understand we're not just eating Swedish meatballs there, but I'm just saying this was
Yeah,
not the first one coming to mind for me. That's
no,
crazy. I'm excited. I want to see one of these around, man.
I do too. I'm doing some testing tomorrow. I might try to crank one out. I'll be honest.
Dude, I send a picture. I think the elements of this. I know we seem simple, like oh, lettuce, tomato, and onion, but like putting these together with pepperoncini, like that's going to be such a flavor blast, and this kind of mellowy, garlicky sauce that I think that's going to be on top is gonna. This just sounds delicious, man.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm here for
so.
it.
And I guess would you go? Were they chicken or pork or beef? I don't remember the kebabs. There was two different ones. What would you go
Yeah,
with, Jim, in this kind of
I would
instance?
go. I'd probably go lamb because I think that's just funky. I try to get some like actual, like probably Euro meat, which isn't the same, but it's analogy. They actually have a pretty good chicken kebab recipe on the website. I
All right.
spent a week in Germany and Berlin and had like 100 of them, and just beg for recipes. And you chicken thighs it. I think that would be really good. I think textures, flavors. I think it would be an absolute home run. Maybe not pizza, right? But really good.
I'm sold, man. Sounds delicious, dude. I'm in.
Love it. All right. Speaking of Canada, speaking of cold countries, how about that? There we go. There's a segue.
There we go. Good
Got it.
transition.
Pizzamarketplace.com. Papa John's Canada launches cheddar crust pizza. I'm just gonna stop right there on the picture.
I
What
think
you
that
got? What you got for me?
it looks good. I would think a cheddary, garlicky crust is good, and I'm a fan of any garlicky cheese baked in. I am just not as enthralled with this or blown away by this unique combination because I felt like I've seen it in variations 1,000 times before. So for to make the Papa John's page, I get it, but tell me I'm wrong, man. Do we need more cheddar on our crust? Like, what am I
I
missing with this one?
I don't hate it, like, in
Oh,
concept. I bet
agreed.
it's
Sure.
fine, but this is not new. You are not breaking the internet with this. Maybe
No.
Papa John's in Canada is new, but yeah, I feel like Hungry Howie's is doing flavor crust for like decades. I feel like
Yes. Yes. Yes.
this isn't the thing. Now, the only thing, and here's where I think this is a miss, because they say it is a blend of cheddar cheese and garlic seasoning. No, that's not what you should have done. You should have taken that garlic sauce right there. You should have put it around the rim, and then you should have used that to stick the cheddar cheese to it. Had you done that, and then basically fried the crust, I think you're onto it, right? Because then you got that grilled cheese moment. I think that would have been a winner. Garlic seasoning, which I'm assuming is like garlic salt, that's replaceable. That garlic sauce, though, they got that one thing, and that's a pretty good thing. So
Okay.
that's what I would have done if they were
I'm
me.
I'm with you on the use of that garlic sauce would have been good. So what do we think? Are we applying anything to it to make that cheese stick? Are we losing it? Are we watering it? Are we putting an oil on it
I'm
to
sure it's
get
the
it there?
yellow margarine, right? I'm sure
Yeah, okay.
they all I'm sure, right? But I think you should have used the garlic sauce, man.
If
That's me.
I'm having a Papa John's pizza, I'm eating the garlic sauce regardless of whatever pizza I ordered. It's just
Yeah,
like I feel like it's a requirement.
has to. Now,
Not too many other pizzas I do that with, but that one I would.
Chini, are you take a bite and sprinkle the juice? Or you just go right in, or do you leave it in the box?
No, I just started eating them. I
Yeah,
love them.
absolutely.
They're delicious.
That's yeah, yeah. All right, good.
I actually don't even remember to ever drizzle them because I'm just eating them
Just
and
going
pulling the
right
stem
to.
out. And
I always ask for
that's
extra,
it.
and everyone looks at me crazy.
I gotta ask for extra. I didn't even think about it.
God, well,
I
you
feel
know what?
bad for people that it's an afterthought for in the box. It's not
It's
like
kind of the best part.
it's not like the basil on top of the dessert or something. You know what I mean? This is purposeful,
This
man.
has a
This is
purpose.
useful.
This is a thing. Oh, all right.
Or
I
mint
like
leaves.
this.
Sorry, I can't let it go. Mint leaves is what I was thinking on the dessert, Jim, not basil.
Basil,
But
no,
you
basil
know,
on strawberry shortcake's a thing.
all right.
I'll allow it.
Save me and give
I'll
me that
allow
one.
it.
Give me that one
I will.
dessert that it works for.
Got
I
that one
appreciate you.
dessert. All right. Speaking of food and wine, so I like this one. I was excited to get your take because I know you've got a good breath here. So these are the 10 must visit pizzerias in the United States, food and wine. First off, I love the headline because this isn't using the words best, definitive, ultimate, or something that's a list. These are places we think you like. So well done right there. So I'm just gonna run down the list. Stop me when there's something that you think is interesting. So first one, up there, John's of Bleecker Street, New York City. I think that's slam dunk, right? That should be a
Great,
top 10.
great pie.
Great,
I'm with you
great.
there. Absolutely agree with this one.
Next one, Lindustry. I mean, have to be, right? Two
Okay,
for two,
yes.
I think. Yeah.
Mic drop. I would say this, for all intents and purposes, for me, even though it's not a top 10 best, this should have been number one because I think this is the best pizza that you can eat. Period. Right now in the country, my personal opinion on it. This is it. Lindustry. Period.
Yeah. Has to be on the list. Love it. Next, Bungalow by Millbrow. Boy, I could name I've been to Bungalow. I think they have a really nice tavern style.
Okay.
They would not have been the Chicago tavern I would have picked.
Okay.
And maybe it's personal preference. I understand it. They aren't. I don't know. There's something I don't want to say grungy or divey about a good tavern place. That's not fair, but there's something old school right about a
Okay.
tavern place, and there's a vibe, and but Bungalow doesn't. I think they only do it a couple nights a week. And just I don't know, it's an interesting pie. It's exclusive. It's not the tavern pie I would have picked personally, but I'm not offended by it.
Okay. Okay. I can appreciate the vibe comment, Jim. So do I have to think like when I think like an old school steakhouse, like has a vibe kind of thing, this tavern style pizza I need to eat in the equivalent thereof, but for a pizzeria that has that kind of nostalgia feel to it or
You
something like
you
that.
know those old Saturday Night Live super fans bits?
Okay. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
They're
Got
at a
it.
tavern style place, right?
Okay.
It's just
Got
it's
it.
got that feel to it, right?
Okay. Cool. Cool.
But not hit. Next one, this is interesting. So Buddy's Pizza in Detroit.
Is this the vending machine or the like the brick and mortar location?
Th-
I don't mean to joke and hate, and you know they've got a good bit of hype for them, but I haven't had it, so I can't comment past that. But an
yeah,
interesting stop if I was there.
interesting stop. I mean, Buddy's is a regional chain. It is very good Detroit pie. I guess if you're gonna right, they invented it, so I'm okay with it. Again, is it my favorite Detroit style? No. Is it really good? Yeah. So I'm fine with it. The next one is interesting, and it's actually funny. This exact picture, I think, is in my book. No joke. So Pepe's in New Haven. I'm looking at it now. This picture is in my book. So I agree pretty hard with this one. Again, there are other beats places you can get in New Haven. Pepe's is a pretty good choice. They've been doing it for 100 years this year.
Yes, classic, good
Yeah.
choice, absolute fit. I love New Haven style pizza. Pepe's particularly is not my number one up there, but in general, I love the style. I'm down. Good
Yeah.
feature for them, of course.
Again,
You're
I'm
not going to be
not
disappointed visiting. You're not going to be disappointed
exactly,
visiting in any
and
sense of your imagination.
I'm not upset it's there. Here's one I haven't heard of, and maybe you had. Raza,
Yes, absolutely.
you've heard. You can.
So he's come on before with Michael
This is Dan.
many times. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I've been trying to go, and I've never just like get a flight out of Newark. And considering now I can never fly out of Newark again, I don't know if we can ever happen. I'm trying to get back there next time I'm in to do it. But everything he makes looks amazing. The dude's awesome just in general. Michael raves about his pies, man. So absolute. I want to
Okay.
say was top. I forget who ranked them, but put him as like top New York pizza, even though he's in New Jersey, right? Was it the Times who made that controversial statement? So like, it's going to be a good
It's gonna
pie
be
when we
good.
go then.
Okay. Good. Good. Now that you say it,
Yeah,
Core Sheets, Los Angeles.
I've heard a ton about quarter sheets,
I
and
have too.
I listened to a pod actually out in there's a food pod in Cali, and I just listened to hear about what they eat out there, and man, quarter sheets is mentioned all the time. So
All the
I would
time.
love to check it out when I'm there, but won a ton of awards already. Absolute, I would say must try if you're out there for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Here's one I don't know if you're of. Out of Sight from San Francisco.
Wasn't familiar with this at all, but like that slice looked good right there. That I'm staring
Slice
down.
looks pretty good, my buddy. But I mean, but that could be in Brooklyn, right? And you'd be like, yeah,
Yes,
that's a slice shop. Which, so
I would agree.
again, haven't heard of it, but it looks good. I did a little research. It's relatively new, but they've won a lot of awards. And I guess their grandma styles are the ones that really are like, oh my god. So
With a Peking duck and chicken tikka. All
love
right,
it.
man. I
I
see
feel
you.
like
I
we've
see you
talked about
guys.
them before. So Rose Pizza in Berkeley, again, haven't heard of it. That looks good though.
Yeah, the browning on these pies, like it looks like they've got a good char and a nice bake to them.
Yeah.
That one looks heavy, but it looks delicious. To me. So I'm interested. I don't know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm down to give it a
Yeah.
whirl. It
I'm
looks
here
great.
for it. And then Lovely's 50/50 up in Portland.
This one I didn't know either. I feel like I'm slipping on West Coast. Like as I
Yeah,
continue across the country, I fall off when I leave like the Bay Area, LA, or other places like that. But Portland's got a good scene up there, and so man, this
yeah,
looks great too.
yeah. I love it.
We have to get somebody on from the West Coast, I think, or the
Agreed.
Northwest to talk more pizza, man, because there's a big scene up there, and we're missing Jim.
Agreed. And that's kind of how I felt. Is there were too many West Coast, but no, there were just the right amount of West Coast on this.
We just have to know more. We just have to learn more about them.
Yeah, agreed. I thought this was a pretty good list. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of times these lists you hem and haw, but I think it's obviously opinion, but I'm not mad about it.
None of them seemed. Listen, I know we're kind of generalizing a little bit, but none of them seemed like to be a name just to be a name to get an attention. They all seem like they've got quality looking pies. If you didn't recognize them, I don't think anyone will be disappointed. So great list to highlight 10 different places everyone might not know and might not check one of them out. So I'm with
Yeah,
you there, man. Good
I'm here
list.
for it.
Good
I think
list.
it's good.
Two thumbs up
If
for this list.
2 thumbs up, if you had to add one place that maybe wasn't a style or a place mentioned, who would you add?
Okay, so if I was talking in New York, I would have mentioned Mama's too because I think it's delicious. But if you were coming my direction, we'd be talking about Bird Pizza in Charlotte, which is like super unique, man. And I've talked about them before, and it is a northeastern quote unquote style pie, New England style pie, and dude, it's just delicious. There's nothing more to say that it really nice bake to it. So Bird Pizza down here, Mama's too in New York wasn't on there, and sorry, and Finney. Finney, I love Finney's pizza is so good. Fini, guys. So those would be the three I'd add. I know you asked me for one, but here's three. Okay,
No,
so that
I
works.
love it. So I'm gonna pick my 3. I think Pacomer in Miami. They do the Cuban style. I think that's,
Okay.
again, traveling. There's a style, again, not something that you would expect, but it's really good pie. So that would be one. Mercurio's too. Shout out to Anna. Yeah, again, I'm gonna get some brownie points for that one. If I had to pick 3, boy, that I think I'm going Colorado Mountain, somewhere in the greater Denver area, because it's so different, so bready with the honey, and again, it's one of those things where you travel and you have it, like, you remember it. So
Yeah, I could
I
see
think
that.
those are my 3 answers. I'm pretty happy
All
with those.
right, good features, man. Good features, buddy.
All right, 2 more to go. This next one, I'm gonna need some help. I don't remember it. I think we're about the same age. You might not remember it, but this is from the Takeout, the discontinued pizza snacks that fans still want back 50 years later. So I'm just gonna kind of go down. Pizza spins. Is this a thing?
I saw this, man, and so I don't know them. 1968 to 75 was new for me still. I wasn't quite there yet, but I don't even remember anyone talking about them. And to be honest, when I first saw them, when I read it before we saw that picture right there, I was thinking that this was just the evolution of the pizza roll, right?
Yeah,
Of
same.
Totino's, and that was not the case. This was like
No.
a chip stack style thing, and I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it looks like those things you fry, right? Those
Yes.
chicharrones that you,
Yep.
right? So I texted some family members, right? Some people I know that are older would have it. Apparently these were amazing. They said they tasted like the texture of a bugle, but they
Okay.
tasted like a pizza Pringle. And especially back then, like, this wasn't the thing that happened, right? There weren't a ton of flavored snacks. So it was
Yeah.
it was kind of a thing.
Let alone a tomato kind of flavory snack, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah.
I know they use the word pizza spices, which I always love. So I'm like, do you just mean like basil,
Yeah,
oregano? Like this is it? This is what pizza
right.
spice is, garlic
Exactly.
maybe.
But to
Our
have the
proprietary
tomato
blend. Yeah, the
blend,
tomato kind of seasoning to it is what I think is always interesting in some of these snacks. That can be hit or miss. So seemed like it was popular though.
yeah, and I mean, it's no, right. So people said it tasted like Bugles, and it's made by General Mills, right? So it probably was pretty close. So yeah, I thought this was interesting. And another thing that I think is fun is, you're seeing the nostalgia wave come back, or you're seeing the old school Pizza Huts come back. You're seeing pizza rolls make a resurgence, and just, I wonder if we're going to start seeing snacks like this kind of come back. And I feel like if you put some of these in front of me, they wouldn't stand a chance,
Dude,
right?
I'm with you on that. I was interested even too with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Cowabungas, I think they were, or
Crunchabungas.
Crunchabungas. This I did not hear of, and I feel like a lot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle things kind of came back a little bit, and they were featured in some frozen pies, maybe at Walmart.
Yeah.
But that would be one of them I'm interested in seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. One article to go. I love this one. You brought this up. So we are both dads. We are celebrating Father's Day this weekend. Happy Father's Day early to you, my friend.
Happy Father's Day to you.
I don't know what your plans are, but I do know if you were in Boston what your plans would be. So, courtesy of Fox 28, Boston's Pizza launches dad daycare for Father's Day weekend. Just look at the picture. I'm like, yep, sold. Let's go.
I'm in.
I'm there. That's good. See you next week. So out of Columbus, Ohio, of course, because
Everything's
Boston's pizza.
happening in
Yeah. Well, it's in
everything's happening in
Columbus, so
Columbus.
even
Yeah,
better.
yes.
My gosh, I'll make the drive. Boston's Pizza offer a unique way for dads to enjoy the various sporting events. Dad Daycare has Columbus and Marysville locations. Food, fun, discounts of pizza, plenty of TV. Dads are encouraged to wear their favorite jerseys. That's adorable. And root for their favorite team. Listen, I don't know what's totally daycare about this, but this is brilliant. I love it.
Hey, dude, you know what? The only reason I sent you this one is because of this quote here when it says that we wanted to offer a place to drop him off with the other dads his age to share a lot of the same interests. I just see them kind of like opening the door, like, all right, get out, go enjoy your
Get out
friends.
there.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Everyone runs right to the table. Listen, I think it's hilarious. I love it.
I can picture a worse time, man, enjoying pizza, other dads watching sports and drinking beers. Sounds like a real rough Father's Day right there.
Right?
You
I
got a
mean,
good
I'm
idea
making pizza
going.
for Father's Day. I'm assuming you are. You're gonna have pizza's gonna be involved somehow, right?
I got to get dropped off. I don't know how much time I'm
Oh
going to
yeah,
have
that's
to
right.
make the pizza, but we'll see.
Columbus is probably halfway in between both of us, so
I'll meet you there on Sunday,
they're gonna
buddy.
meet you there. Like-minded. Oh my gosh, that was a fun one. Great
Good,
pull as always.
good articles, man, this week. Good articles.
I agree, especially that first one. Will, where can we find you on social
That,
media? Oh wait, that's me.
find me at Funny Will. I'm talking about some food stuff and some pizza stuff sometimes. Where do we find you, Jim?
At Jim Cook's Food Good, wherever you get it, Pizzapedia, Amazon, 2 weeks. And of course, I Need Pizza, right? I Need Pizza Club
Yeah,
on
of course.
Instagram, YouTube, like, rate, subscribe, all the things. I always get it wrong. It's just I Need That Pizza's the website, and
Yep.
I was
I
I
need
Need
Pizza
Pizza
Club and
Club.
I need
Yeah,
pizza
I
for the
Need That
site.
Pizza's the
And
website.
but
So
you can email, comment, chat us anywhere
yeah,
you want along those
yeah,
mediums. We're
absolutely.
happy to hear it and throw us an idea, man. We'll talk pizza anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a reminder, after this show, Clubhouse after show every Tuesday. So come on, talk about all the things we missed. Tell us why we were wrong. We love hearing how
Yeah.
wrong we are. But until then, we will see you next week at 9 Eastern on Tuesday for another episode of Pizza Roundtable.
See ya.